Hi everyone, it's Kamal here with your January 2019 market update. I hope you guys are enjoying another wonderful snowy day. I realized something yesterday. School was cancelled because of the weather, so I took my kids out to the park. Here's what I realized, right? If you guys ever want to have a snowball fight, do it with kids. Chances of winning is pretty good. All right, before we get going with the market update, as always, a riddle for this month. And the riddle is, what disappears as soon as you say its name? Again, the riddle is, what disappears as soon as you say its name? To get the answer, to find out the answer, check out my market update for next month. And now here's your market update for January 2019. All right, so here's your January 2019 market update. Just want to touch on this real quickly because this is something I've brought up many times before, and I'm going to bring it up again because this is absolutely relevant with this month's report. I've cautioned many times before about just reading headlines to make your own assessment, all right? And in this case, it's very relevant. If you just look at the headline numbers, what you'll see is that from January 2018 to January 2019, the market is up about 11.74%, which technically is true. January 2018, the market average home price in Mississauga was about 631,000. For January 2019, it came in at 705,000. So technically, it's accurate. It's up about 11.74%. But here is where it gets misleading if you don't know anything else. You have to remember January 2018 was the bottom of the market. For those of you following the market closely, you may remember that we peaked in March 2017 when legislation was introduced in Ontario and the market started to drop. It bottomed out in January 2018. So the numbers we're comparing for January 2019 were actually comparing against a market low. So anything that we're comparing against when it's a bottom or when it's a peak, it's always going to be skewed because of that. So just be aware that although technically it's accurate, the reality is that it was a market bottom. Just so you know, market peaked in March 2017. Average home price in Mississauga came in at 798,000, and then it bottomed out, like I say, in January 2018. It bottomed out at 631,000. Now, from peak March 2017 to where we are today, the market is still down about 11.67%. This is price. Okay, price is still down about 11.67%. So beyond that, let's focus on some of the things that I see going on in the marketplace. All right, so there's been some very dramatic changes in the real estate space that I'm seeing, and I want to touch on that real quickly. One of the biggest, most dramatic shift I saw late last year, was actually the interest rate policy from the Bank of Canada. Even as late as as late as the fall of last year, economists were still mostly in agreement that we may see about 2 interest rate increases in Canada for 2019. Now, as we went into the end of 2018, it became pretty obvious that the Bank of Canada was going to be on hold. And the announcements from the Bank of Canada in January and December has reaffirmed that. So right now, interest rates are on pause. Okay, this is a very dramatic shift. One of the reasons, of course, is the Bank of Canada has already announced that they are looking at the personal debt level of Canadians who are at a very high debt level per capita. That means per person, how much debt we're carrying is very high. In fact, it's higher than what the American per capita debt level was when their market crashed in 2007, 2008. We're actually at a higher number, all right? So because of that, and plus what President Trump is doing down south, I believe the Bank of Canada is on hold because of that. So interest rate for now is on hold, and it's probably on hold for at least the next few months. All right, that's a dramatic shift. The second shift that I saw in the real estate market was the volatility. And what I mean by that is the volatility between months, from January to February, February to March, March to April, and so on. Between months, the amount of price changes was quite dramatic. It'd be up 1 month 5%, then the following month it'd be down 6%, the month after it'd be up 7%, month after that it'd be down 8%. So that was very dramatic. And again, it's quite common when you have a market in transition to see that kind of volatility. It's trying to find a new normal, okay? So we saw that quite dramatically last year. Now the third thing I wanted to talk to you about in terms of what I saw in terms of a theme that was quite obvious last year was the total volume of sales. And what this is not price, this is the total number of houses that was sold. So let me give you some numbers here. In 2016, for all of 2016, the total number of houses that was sold in Mississauga was 11,584 homes. Then in 2017, that number dropped to 9,269 homes. Now, remember, 2017 was when the market started to drop after March because the government introduced new legislation. So between 2016 and 2017, the total number of houses that was sold dropped by almost 20%. Okay, that's a large number. Now, from 2017 to 2018, total number of houses being sold dropped further. In 2018, in Mississauga, we sold a total of 7,746 homes. Compare that to 2017 of 9,269 homes. Again, from 2017 to 2018, that's another 16% drop. So in total, from 2016 to 2018, the volume of sale activity in Mississauga has dropped by over 33%, which is again a very dramatic. And this is one of the reasons why I say that we're probably not going to be seeing crazy price increases in the market anytime soon. That plus the fact that interest rate environment is also dramatically different. Mortgage rules are also significantly different. All right. Now, what does all this mean for you as a potential buyer, as a potential seller? Well, some of the things that's going to happen is basically, I believe the market is still reverting back to a normal market. So we're not going to see crazy price swings on the upside. Probably not going to see a crazy amount of price swings on the downside as well. Probably going to see a narrow range where prices are going to be. Again, we're going back to more of a normal market. Mortgage pre-approvals are still very difficult to get. This was a major theme for 2018. A lot of deals were falling apart because even if a client had a pre-approval, when they got a deal done and went back to the banks oftentimes were pulling out of the deal for whatever reason. Okay, so getting financing will continue to be a major problem in 2019. In fact, RBC has already announced that they are trying to lobby the federal government to see if they can either change or if not reduce the stress test on mortgages. So we'll see what happens there. Something very interesting that is also happening, and this is on my side of the business. As I've mentioned many times before, in my industry, there are lots and lots and lots and lots of part-time agents, right? This industry is full of them. As the market has slowed down, as the total volume of sales, the number of transactions that are taking place has dropped dramatically. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing real estate agents, part-time real estate agents, start to leave the market. They're quitting, right? Now, in the long run, this is good. It's good for the industry, it's good for the consumers, okay? So within my company, I've already had 3 agents that I know of that have left the industry. They've gone back to their full-time job and they've given up the real estate. So you're probably going to see more part-time agents quit the business, or if not, just park the license somewhere and not be active. All right. So that's something that I've noticed happening. And the last thing, of course, is when a market transitions the way it did, the experience of a real estate agent becomes more paramount, especially if you're selling. Buyers are incredibly picky. Financing is incredibly difficult to get. Total number of transactions are down significantly. If you are selling in this market and if you don't have an experienced real estate agent guiding you in your decision to help you understand what is going on with the marketplace, you will be sitting in the market for a long time, overpriced, not getting any offers coming in. What your listing will do is will help sell some other listing because you're probably overpriced or you're probably not willing to get a deal done. So having the right real estate agent in this market becomes even more paramount. I know it's self-serving, but it's also true. All right. So with that, as always, if you or someone you know is thinking of buying or selling, please give me a call. and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you very much for your time. Take care.